Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at Tiger Stadium in Detroit for the game between the Texas Rangers and Detroit Tigers. It was played May 25th, 1987, as we're on that date in the replay. Game number 294 in the overall replay. Tiger Stadium, not so friendly for singles. Lefties 1-2, righties just a 1, but very friendly for home runs. Lefties 1-14, righties 1-11. So much more of a home run hitter's park than it is a singles park. And yes, Jeremiah, there's the coffee right there. Coffee and Strat, good combination. Maybe the best combination. Okay, I'm back. If somebody can let me know for sure, but I think I am back. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was actually going to put in the ratings and everything while I was waiting for people to arrive in the stream just to. All right. Hello, Action. Good to see you. Kind of the, not the total Strat Zen, but a little Strat Zen. And then, of course, the YouTube/Xfinity Internet wanted to ruin my plans. So, I figured while I was rebooting the computer and everything, I'd go ahead and save time and start filling stuff in. So I'm almost done filling in these ratings. And again, it is Texas at Detroit here at Tiger Stadium. Another game on the May 25th docket. The last three games will be all on the East Coast. Oh, sorry, the West Coast. All the West Coast teams are at home. So I'm trying to go east to west as best I can. So Detroit is the last stop before we hit the East Coast for the West Coast. So just about done. One more guy, Tom Brookins, last one to do. All right, so now we're back in business, hopefully. Let's get everything in line. These are your starting pitchers: Ed Correa for Texas and Frank Tanana for the Detroit Tigers. Not sure what happened there initially. Don't know why it did that. I kind of bumped into my webcam connection on the computer, but that shouldn't have affected the whole stream. I think it was just coincidental. But there you go, Jeff. Got my coffee here. I'm probably have to warm it up now. It's been sitting here for a while, so probably I will have to 7th inning stretch, warm it up. Hey, Bob. Deal with modern technology. And it's not that I live way out in the boondocks or anything like that, but I am a little bit in the country. But still, that shouldn't have anything to do with this. There's a cell tower, and it says, and it's not a problem with my internet because my internet says I'm good. It's something with the YouTube app, and I don't know what it is, but because my internet on my computer says it's good, so it's not an internet problem per se. So I don't know, but anyway. There you see the ballpark effects for Tiger Stadium. Frank Tanana is 1-5 on the replay. Ed Correa is 3-2 on the replay. So I had to shut down the Stratmat computer, so now I need to bring that back up so we can score the game as we're playing it. So a little bit of the technical difficulties hopefully behind us now. At least we can hope so. Get the full numbers on Frank Tanana. Like I said, he's had a rough start to the replay. He was 15-10 with a 391 real world. And in the replay, he has struggled to a 1-5 start with an ERA of 4.94, so a whole point higher on his ERA to go along with the bad record. And if we look back at his games, probably maybe some lack of run support, maybe part of that as well. I don't know. All right, so there you see your lineup for Texas with the lefty Tanana on the mound. Bobby Valentine has benched Odeby McDowell and brought in Bob Brower to play center field. He's also benched Jerry Brown and put in Jeff Kunkel at second. Pretty much everything else standard the same. Lineup for the Tigers pretty normal, except Bill Bean's still in there instead of Chet Lemon, but I'm sure later on the season Lemon will take over full time. But that's just the way it's going right now in the as-played world. Tigers are 21-20 entering this game. Texas 19-21. All right, so Bob Brower is going to lead us off. He is hitting. Well, let's get the full numbers on Tanana first of all. 1-5, 4.94 ERA, 51 innings pitched, 52 hits, 12 walks, 33 strikeouts. Bob Brower hitting 287 on the replay, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 261 real world. So now hopefully we're ready to go. We got a 211, and that's a ground ball to third. That's one away. Tom Brookins will take care of it, and we are underway from Tiger Stadium officially. And here's Scott Fletcher. He's hitting 315 on the replay, a homer, 28 driven in. He hit 287 real world. It's a 6-9 for Tanana, and it's going to be a line out to Lou Whitaker. And that is out number 2. So 2 quick outs. And that brings up Pete Incaviglia. Incaviglia on the replay hitting 258, 7 homers, 24 driven in. That's a 3-7, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else, he singles. So it's a 2-out single for Pete Incaviglia. He does have an asterisk there, so they do have to hold him on. Let's see what he did real world steals. I don't think I'd want to steal here, but just in case. Hey, Scooney, good to see you. In real world, he stole 9 bases, got caught 3 times. In the replay, stolen 1 base, got caught 1 time. So he could get the lead with the 6. That would be a 17 he'd start with. Tanana is a +2, so that's pretty tempting. They're going to go ahead and try to get that 6. If he can get a 6, he can get the lead. And he gets the 6 right on cue. How do you like that? So he's going to go 17. -2 from Hell's a 15, but the +2 from Tanana is back to a 17. So 1 to 17, he's going to go. And he's in there. Stolen base for Pete Incaviglia, his 2nd of the season. Been caught once. But 2 steals now for Incaviglia. He's in scoring position for DH Larry Parrish. Parrish on the replay hitting 243, 7 homers, 23 driven in. He had 268 real world. They will not hold Incaviglia on second base, obviously. 1-5, and that's a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. First strikeout for Tanana, and it comes at the expense of Larry Parrish. So we go to the bottom of the first after a inauspicious start here from Tiger Stadium, technologically wise. We got Texas nothing and Detroit coming to bat. And on the mound for Texas is Ed Correa. Correa on the replay is 3-2, ERA of 5.08, 44 innings pitched, 39 hits, 31 walks, and 34 strikeouts. In real world, Correa's ERA was 7.59, so he's doing a lot better doing that. So didn't put in the pass ball rating for Slot, which is legendary at a pass ball rate of 16. So we got to be careful about that, because the wild pitch for Correa is a 20 and a pass ball for Slot's a 16. So anytime that double die on the Havoc comes up with 1 or 2, there could be problems for Texas. Just put it that way, because you've got a high probability of doing one or the other. All right, here's Sweet Lou Whitaker hitting 263 on the replay, 10 homers, 33 driven in. He at 265 real world. That's a 3-12, and that's going to be a walk. So a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the first for Lou. And we'll see if he wants to take advantage. There is a +5 on the hold rating for Correa. He is a +7. So obviously a lot of people took advantage of that. Needs a 4 or a 5 to get the lead. Does not get it, so he will hold. And Darrell Evans bumped up to the number 2 position in this game. Evans hitting 242 on the replay, 10 homers, 27 driven in. He at 257 real world. 211, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks by Correa. Not a good way to start if you're Mr. Correa. Now you're getting into the heart of the order, Gibson and Trammell. So Kirk Gibson hitting 394 on the replay, 4 homers, 11 driven in 71 at bats. He had 277 real world. But he's off to a flying start. 4-2, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Shortstop Fletcher, he's a 3E26. No one was being held on, so a 3E26 will stay. But the double die strikes early, 3 and a 3. 3 and a 3 is going to be a single. It's going to load the bases. That's a 10, no error on the 10, but it's going to be a single that loads the bases. And Correa is in a world of trouble here in the first inning. Bases loaded for Alan Trammell. Trammell, one of the league's leading hitters, at hitting .402 on the replay and 122 at bats. 10 homers, 27 driven in. He hit .343 real world. Rangers will play back. They need outs. They'll trade the run for the double play if they can get it. 2-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. It's a good thing they did play back because that's a plus there. That would have been a base hit with the infield in. But instead, it's a 6-4-3 double play. The run will score, but Tigers kind of disappointed in that because it's going to pretty much break up any chance for a real big inning with that double play. Evans does take third. No RBI given to Trammell. When you ground into a double play, you don't get a run batted in. But it is 1-0 Detroit. But Correa trying to limit the damage to that one run. Here's Matt Noakes, the catcher, hitting .267 on the replay, 13 homers, 36 driven in. He hit .289 real world. So Correa to Noakes with Gibson at third. 3-9, and that's a fly ball to right. That's going to end the inning. So Correa gets out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation, only scoring the one run. So they didn't do as bad as the Yankees did last night in their bases loaded, nobody out situation, but they still don't do what they were hoping to do, put up multiple runs. But at the end of one, it is Detroit 1 and Texas 0. Tanana back out will face Sierra, O'Brien, and Slot, scheduled hitters. Sierra is hitting .277 on the replay, 14 homers, 33 driven in. He hit .263 real world. 3-7 against the left-hander. 1-8 is a double. 9-20 is a single. That'll be a double for Ruben Sierra. Leadoff double for Sierra. That's his 6th double of the season. He hit 35 doubles real world. Here's Pete O'Brien, first baseman. He's hitting .347 on the replay, 9 homers, 27 driven in. He only hit .286 real world, so he's definitely off to a hot start in his first 147 at bats. 1-2, and that's a single. There's an anti-clutch, but we're not in a clutch situation. It is a single, but it's only one star. So Sierra will have to stop at third base. So runners on the corners, nobody out for catcher Don Slot. And again, Tigers in the same boat the Rangers were. They will play back for the double play to get those 2 outs and surrender a tying run if necessary. Slot hitting .263 on the replay, 6 homers, 18 driven in. He only hit .224 real world. 6-7, and that is a strikeout. So a big out there for Tanana, strikeout number 2. Now a double play would get him out of the inning with no runs. But they got to get by Steve Buechele. Buechele hitting .242 on the replay, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit .237 in the actual season. 2-3, and that is going to be a fly ball, right field B, question mark, possible sacrifice fly. Sierra runs pretty well at a 15. Right fielder Sheridan, though, is a -3 arm, so that makes it a little bit tricky. So we'll go through the rules again just for my refreshing and for everybody else's refreshing on the B question mark, how you calculate that. Never a bad time for a learning moment rather than just play the game out. So we use the advanced rules for this. And we're going to calculate it by the run rating, outfielder's arm, +2. All right. So run rating is 15. Outfielder's arm is a -3, brings it down to a 12, but the +2 makes it a 14. So it's a 1-14 he would score. And 15-20 he's out. But this is the second out of the inning. So the 1-15 is very good odds. Much better than trying to get Jeff Kunkel to get a hit. So they're going to send him 1-15. He's safe. And he's in there. So Sacrifice fly off the bat of Bouchel. Sheridan's throw not in time, but we are now tied at a run apiece. And here's Jeff Kunkel. Kunkel on the replay. Near the end of his tenure, he only had 32 at-bats real world. So far in the replay, he's had 26 at-bats. On the replay, though, he's hitting .308. No homers, 4 driven in. On real world, he was .219. 1 homer and 2 driven in. So 2 outs. O'Brien's still at first. 3-4, and that's a strikeout for Kunkel, and that will end the inning. But the Rangers do tie the score. And at the end of 1.5, it is a tie game at 1 apiece. This thing is irritating me the way it won't stay down. The tape is not holding this the way I want it to. Try again. Get that to keep from flopping up because I don't want this sheet moving around. All right, because it's a loose leaf score sheet, but it's on top of the pad B, so I'm using it as a cushion. But I don't want the score sheet sliding around, which is why I try to tape it down on both corners. But sometimes the tape doesn't hold like it should. Oh, wrong team. They just hit. So now it's the Tigers. Correa back out. We'll be facing Pat Sheridan, Johnny Grubb, and Bill Bean, 3 lefties. Sheridan on the replay, hitting .254, 2 homers, 13 driven in. He hit .259 real world. So 6-8, and that's going to be a base on balls. 3rd walk issued already for Correa, and that can be a problem for him. Correa has now walked 34 batters in 45 innings, so not very good, obviously. And Sheridan's going to look to get the lead because of that +5 hold rating. So he will need a 2 through 7 or a 10 to get the lead. 11 or 12 he's picked off. That's a 10, so he does get the lead. Does get the lead, so he's a 15. Being held is a 13, but then that +5 is an 18. So 1 to 18, he's safe. And it's a 20. How do you like that? Gets caught on a 20. Go figure. So Pat Sheridan caught stealing. Don Slaught really put a good one down there. And they were able to get Sheridan stealing 1 away. Here's Johnny Grubb, the DH. Grubb hitting .174 on the replay. No homers, 5 driven in. He hit .202 real world. 3-10, and that's a fly ball to right field for out number 2. So what looked promising for Detroit all of a sudden now is 2 outs, bases empty. And that'll bring up Bill Bean. Billy Bean hitting .313 on the replay. He's near his tenure to be done as well. He had 66 at-bats real world, and the replays had 64. So he had .258 real world, and the replay is hitting .313. So not too many more at-bats remaining, I wouldn't believe. 6'7", he's a lefty. 6'7" is a 1 to 4 single. Double dies a 13, though, so he's going to line it to the second baseman Kunkel to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Detroit Tigers in the second. At the end of 2, we're still tied at 1 apiece. We will now go to the top of the 3rd and back to the top of the order for Texas. It'll be Bob Brower. Brower grounded to Brookins his first time up. That's a 3-9, left-handed. 1 to 17 is a single, so it's base hit for Brower. And he will be looking to run. Brower, real world. He stole 15 bases, caught 9 times. On the replay, he stole 9 bases without being caught. So he's been very efficient, obviously. So we'll see if he can do it again. Needs a 2 through 9 to get the lead. And he gets the lead, so that's a 15. Being held is a 13, but then the +2 is a 15. So 1 to 15, he will be successful. And it's an 18. That's the second time I had a caught stealing on a D20 of 18 or higher. Unbelievable. And that's the first caught stealing of the season for Bob Brower. One away, and here's Fletcher. But I mean, you got a 1 to 16 or 17 chance to be safe. You got to send him. Hello, Roger. Good to see you. Here's Fletcher. 6-7. That's a strikeout for Tanana. That is strikeout number 4. 2 down, and that's going to take us to Incaviglia. He singled and stole a base his first time up. 3-3, and that's a fly to center, and that'll do it. So the caught stealing kind of puts the kibosh on any thoughts of a rally. We go to the bottom of the third, still tied at 1 apiece. Due up for the Tigers, number 9 hitter Tom Brookins, third baseman. On the replay, Brookins is hitting .257, 2 homers, 10 driven in. He hit .241 real world. 4-6 for Correa is a 1 to 7 single. That's a 3. Double die comes up as a 3, so it's a leadoff single for Tom Brookins. Brookins is aboard. He'll look to run. Not deterred by these high D20 rolls. We're going to keep going because the odds are in our favor. But he doesn't get the lead, but that's a 2. Chance of a balk on Correa, but he's got a 0 balk rating. But it does mean Brookins can establish a good lead. So he'll hold. And here's Whitaker. Walked and scored the only run for the Tigers his first time up. 6-7, and that's going to be a 1 to 4 single. Double dies a 6, so it's a line out to second. 1 away. And that'll send up Darrell Evans. Evans also walked his first time up, one of the 3 walks issued by Correa. 1-8, and that's another walk. That's the 4th walk issued by Correa. And that's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out for Kirk Gibson. 1-8 for Gibson, and that's a ballpark blast. That's not a good news for Correa. 1 to 14. That's a 5. It is gone. Kirk Gibson, a 3-run home run. Look at it again. 1-8 is a ballpark blast. Gibson obviously has normal power. Tiger Stadium, again, for lefty batters, 1 to 14. That's a 5. So Kirk Gibson, a 3-run home run to break the ice here and make it a 4-1 ball game. For Kirk Gibson, that is home run number 5 on the replay. RBIs 12, 13, and 14 for him. And the Tigers now lead it 3-0. I'm sorry, 4-1 because it was a 1-1 score. All right, here's Alan Trammell. I can take a 3-run lead. That was my point. 6-6 is another walk by Correa, his 5th walk of the game in just 3 innings. Actually, a little bit less than 3 innings, 2 1/3. So Correa in a little bit of trouble here, 4-1. Runner at first in Trammell. And Trammell needs a 5 to get the good lead. Does not get it, so he will hold. And that's going to bring up Matt Noakes. 111 for Noakes. That's a ground ball first base A plus injury, so Noakes could be injured here. It will be a 3-6-3 double play, and then we'll check the injury. Tigers are carrying 3 catchers, so it's not a problem as far as that goes, but it does kind of mess up the pitcher-catcher chemistry if the catcher has to leave. Here's Noakes on a 1 to 4. He's going to have to go, so Noakes is out of there, and we will need a new catcher. It's either going to be Mike Heath. Actually, only carrying 2 catchers. My bad. They're only carrying 2 catchers. So Mike Heath is the other catcher. So they don't have any choice. They will go to Mike Heath. There is no alternative. So Mike Heath is going to be your catcher as we go to the 4th inning. So Heath, catcher in the 4th. And since he's there, might as well go ahead and put in his much better defensive numbers than what Noakes had. So we'll go ahead and fix this so that we're not confused about Noakes being in the game. My tape wants to mess up on me. Sometimes I press this thing down too hard and it pushes the tape outside of the runway that it's supposed to go on. So hopefully this is better now. Maybe. Not pretty, but Hopefully, we're still getting outside the thing there. I guess I got to be more gentle with it. It'll be gentle with it. Let's be gentle like Bob Ross and have happy tape. Gonna have happy tape. Okay. There we go. That's what we needed. We needed happy tape. All right. So let's put in the ratings for Mr. Heath. Heath doing the catching. His T rating is a 7. He is a 2 minus 2 E3, so actually a better defensive catcher. And his speed is an 11, which is probably about the same. So we got to go to the bench on the computer and bring in Mike Heath to catch, to replace the injured Noakes. And Heath's pass ball rating is a 5. Noakes was a 3, Heath is a 5. Okay, now we're straight and ready to go to the 4th inning. Hello, world's worst. So that change has been made on the computer, now up to date. And Larry Parrish will step in against Frank Tanana to start the 4th. Parrish, the DH, struck out his first time up. 3-9 against the lefty. That's a ballpark blast for Parrish. It's 1-11, but that's an 18, so a deep fly to left. And the double die not so cooperative for the Rangers on this one, as he will fly out to Gibson in left field for 1 away. Here is Ruben Sierra. 1-9, lefty pops him up to short. Trammell is there, 2 down. 2 up and 2 down for Pete O'Brien. O'Brien singled his first time up. Drove in, helped to drive in, helped to set up the 1-run Texas has. 3-8, lefty is a ground ball to third, and Brookins has it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tanana, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for either pitcher. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 4-1 Detroit, as they're looking to add more misery to Ed Correa. Leading things off for the Tigers will be Pat Sheridan. He walked and was caught stealing his first time up. 1-5. He's going to strike out this time, and I believe that's the first strikeout for Correa, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see any other strikeouts on the score sheet. So finally took him 4 innings, but he got his first strikeout. And here's Johnny Grubb, designated hitter. 6-8. And that's a lefty. That's another walk for Correa. That is walk number 6 for Ed Correa, proving to be his undoing. Grubb will not be held or go anywhere. Here's Billy Bean. Bean line to second, first time up. 4-12, lefty. Fly ball left field X. We're looking at Incavigli's a 4E16. 4-11 should be okay. It's the E16 you got to worry about. I think 4-11 will be all right. No, it won't. 4-11 is a single 2 stars. I stand corrected. So, boy, those 4 outfielders really hurt you. Single 2 stars. That'll move Grubb to third. Now we'll check on the air, and that's a 5. How about that? So we got a rare play. So it's an SI2 rare play. So we go to our rare play chart, beta version rare play chart, and we're looking under SI2. So SI2, batter hits a single with all runners advancing 2 bases. If single was to right fielder throws behind the, well, it was to left field, so there is no throwing behind the runner because the ball went to left field. So they avoid that particular disaster by hitting to the opposite field versus pulling the ball to right field. So runners are on the corners with 1 away for Tom Brookins. Infield for the for the Rangers they're in. They really can't afford to give up any more runs. So they're going to play in. 2-5, and that is a fly ball center field B ? Another chance for that sacrifice fly perhaps. But Grubb is only a 10 as the lead runner. But Brower is a +1 in center, so that'll help him out too. So again, to calculate, take the running speed of the runner, that's a 10. You add or subtract the outfield arm, that's a +1, makes it an 11. Then you add 2, makes it a 13. So 1 to 13, they're going to send him. And he's out at the plate. What a double play. What a throw by Brower. So Brookins will fly to center, and then Grubb is out at the plate 8-2 for a double play. Wow. Devil Die just on these base running things are just coming up really unusually high. So that double play has ended the inning. With runners on the corners and only 1 out, you think you're going to score, and then, wow, that happens. Okay, top of the 5th we go. Tanana will be facing Slot, Ushell, and Kunkel. Start the 5th. 1-7, and that's a strikeout, and that will be strikeout number 5 for Tanana. Here's Buechele. It's a 4-6, and that's a 1-8 single. 17, though, is a line out to short. Trammell will snag it. 2 down. And now Tanana has quietly retired the last 6 he has faced. 7 he has faced, actually. Here's Kunkel. 3-9, struck him out, make it 8 in a row. 6th strikeout for Mr. Tanana. And so we go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 4-1 Detroit. Correa back out. This is his fatigue inning number 5. So keep an eye on that. Top of the order, Lou Whitaker. He's walked in line to second. 6-5, lefty is yet another walk. Walk number 7 given up by Correa. And now the Texas bullpen is starting to loosen. Let's see who they've got available down there that has some length perhaps and can maybe help them out. Greg Harris isn't too overworked. Mahorsic looks like he has the most rest. So warming up in the Texas bullpen, and he does have 2 innings of fatigue relief, is Dale Mahorsic. So he would be coming in if Correa runs into further issues. Whitaker going to be looking to get the lead. Needs a 4 or a 5. Does not get the lead. He will hold. So here's Darrell Evans. Or 9, and that is a trouble for Correa. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a single. Single 2 stars for Evans as Whitaker motors to third. And that might be the beginning of the end here for Correa. Kirk Gibson coming up. Nobody out. Runners on the corners. And I think they're going to make the move right here. They don't. Bobby Valentine has seen enough. So Dale Mahorsic will be coming on. Try to stem the tide. He is a -5 hold, which is a vast improvement there. Makes him a -4. And let's see. Let's go to the bullpen and bring him in. We'll do all the numbers on Correa after the inning is over, because those runs on base are his responsibility. So Dale Mahorsic going to come on and pitch. He's in the replays 3-2 with 2 saves and a 6.04 earned run average. 22 innings pitched, 31 hits, 4 walks, and 15 strikeouts. He had a 2.99 ERA in real world, so he's definitely been struggling. Some perhaps chance to get him right. We'll wait and see. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Man, you play in. They're going to play back for the double play. They got to get some outs. If it was 1 out, I'd play in, but not with nobody out. So here's Gibson. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. That's a good start from Mahorsic right there. Striking out Gibson. Now you can play for the double play and get out of the inning. Alan Trammell. Or do you play in? That's the question mark. He's got that plus there on that 7, but he's also got some ground ball feeds. They're going to play back for the double play. 6-6, and it's a line out to second base. Boy, Mahorsic is walking the tightrope right here. Strikeout and a line out, 2 outs with no runner advancement. Now all he has to do is get Mike Heath out, and he gets out of the inning. Mike Heath, his first at bat since coming in for the injured Noakes. He's hitting 290 on the replay, 3 homers, 12 driven in, and he hit 281 real world. So Mike Heath was his first opportunity, and it is a clutch situation when he comes in. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 2-8 and on 3-5 and on 3-10. 1-9, though, is going to be a double to center field for Mike Heath. So a big blow there for Mike Heath. Whitaker will score. We don't know about Evans. He doesn't run very well, but we'll check him out. The double went to center field, so Brower again the +1 arm. So Evans is a 10. Not being held makes him an 11. 2 outs makes him a 12, and the +1 makes him a 13. So it's a 1 to 13, but we've already had a couple guys thrown out at the plate. So getting a little cautious about sending these guys. So I think we'll hold Evans up at third base. It's an RBI double for Mike Heath, and the Tigers take a 5-1 lead. Here comes Pat Sheridan first. A second and third, 2 outs for Sheridan. 4-6, and that is a single to right field. So a base hit there. That's going to score Evans. Don't know about Heath yet because the base hit went to right, and Sierra's a -2 arm. So let's see again. Heath not being held makes him a 12. 2 outs is a 14, but then the -2 brings it back to a 12. Boy, they're going to send him because Grubb is just a bad hitter. So 1 to 12, he's going to score, and he's out at the plate. Boy, that's the third time it's second time it's my thrown at the plate. But the single will score the run, and the Tigers now have a 6-1 lead. And now we can close the book on Correa. Close the book now on Correa as we go to the computer to get all his gory numbers. Correa goes 4 innings, 4+ innings. He pitched into the 5th, but didn't make it. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, all earned, 7 walks and a strikeout. The 7 walks were his undoing. And he's going to most likely drop to 3-3. Tanana will most likely improve to 2-5. But hey, there's still 4 innings to play. 6-1 game is not totally out of reach. Seen it happen before. All right, so here's Tanana. This is his fatigue inning, number 6. And he'll be taking on the top of the order, Brower, Fletcher, and Incavilla. Tanana has retired 8 in a row. And if you go back to the caught stealing, that'd be 9 in a row. So 8 in a row while he was pitching and the batter was at the plate. So 5-5 is a right-hander. That's going to end the streak right there. 1 to 4 is a triple. 5 to 20 is a double. So Bob Brower, a leadoff double, and he's now 2 for 3. That'll bring up Scott Fletcher. That's a 3-4 for Fletcher, and that's a pop out to second base. Big out there, 1 away. For Incavilla. Incavilla's 1 for 2. He, of course, not holding on Brower at second base. 2-7 against the lefty, struck him out. Incavilla doing Incavilla things by striking out. 2 down for Larry Parrish, the DH. He's 0 for 2. Clutch situation for him. He gains a hit on a 1-2, on a 3-10 and 3-11, and on a 2-10 and a 2-4. So he's quite the good clutch hitter. 1-5, though, is not his clutch number that he wanted, and that's a strikeout for strikeout number 8, and Tanana will carry endurance into the 7th inning. So nothing doing there for the Rangers. Leave a runner in scoring position. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Mahorsic back out, and he'll be facing Johnny Grubb. 6-5, and that is a fly ball to center field. Pulled in by Brower. One away for Billy Bean. 5-2 as a ground ball first base C. So O'Brien fields it, flips to Mahorsic covering. That's out number 2. And that'll send up Brookins. 4-10. And that's a strikeout for Mahorsic. So a 1-2-3 inning for Mahorsic. That's the first 1-2-3 inning turned in by Texas pitching. And score remains 6-1 as we head into the top of the 7th. There will be a 7th inning stretch because I do need to heat my coffee. So shameless plug there as to why I'm doing that. And the 7th inning stretch just so there's no dead air. All right. So Tanana back out. We'll be facing Sierra. It's a 4-9. Switch hitter being right-handed. 4-9. 1-4 is a single. That's a 2, so it's a base hit for Ruben Sierra. He gets the leadoff single, but down 6-1, they're not going to try any stealing or anything like that. Here's O'Brien. 1-8 lefty-lefty is a ground ball second base A, and there's a 4-6-3 double play. So you steal, you get thrown out. You don't steal, you ground to a double play. Sometimes you just can't win. Sometimes it's just destined for you to lose. All right, so 2 outs, base is clear now for Don Slaught. 5-5 is a 1-4 triple, 5-20 is a double. So Slaught doubles, and how big was that double play now? That cost him a run for sure. And here's Buechele. Tanana on the verge of being fatigued. 2-11. This will do it right here. A home run. Clean, as Jeffrey would say, clean as a baby's ass right there. 2-11 is a solid home run. No D20 needed. Buechele blast it, and that's going to be it for Tanana. A 2-run home run, but boy, that double play is looming very large right now. Lead has been cut to 6-3 for Buechele. Home run number 5. RBIs 22 and 23. Again, 2-11, that solid home run, no doubt about it. Against a righty, it would have been just a double, but against the left-hander, it was clean. So the Tigers will go to the bullpen as Tanana, with that home run, has just reached fatigue. It's 6-3. Or you know what? They're going to let Tanana pitch even with fatigue because they want to keep going here with this and keep the right-hander in the lineup and try to get him. They want to try to get him through the full 7 so they can give the bullpen just 2 innings to cover. 2-6, and that's a hit by pitch. So how about that? After a home run, we have a hit by pitch, and now both benches have been issued a warning. Brower. And now Tanana's they're going to have to leave now. So Sparky says, I've seen enough. Tanana did fine for me for 6 2/3, but I got to move on. So as Elton John would, sing one day, I can't go on with you like that. So, or I don't want to go on with you like that. So Tanana is out of here, and they will be going to Mike Henneman. He has a relief rating of 3, so he can definitely get the job done for the full innings there. So they're going to go to Mike Henneman out of the bullpen. He would eventually, later in the season, kind of turn into their closer, but early on, he's just pitching to be pitching. So Kunkel hit by the pitch, so his run is possibly charged to Tanana if it scores as well. Will be charged to Tanana. So we can't totally clean up Tanana yet, but he did give up 8 hits, and he struck out 8. And as far as walks go, he didn't walk a single batter, so he had great control. So Henneman's a -5 on the hold, so that certainly helps the cause. So Brower is your scheduled hitter. He's 2 for 3, but that was against the right-hander. So Texas will go their bullpen and bring in their normal center fielder, Oddibe McDowell. He will pinch hit for Brower and stay in the game to play center field. So we got McDowell pinch hitting in the 7th and center field in the 7th. So McDowell will come on. So a couple of changes. Henneman replaces Tanana, and McDowell replaces Brower. We'll get the numbers on Henneman first of all on the replay. Henneman is 1-2 with no saves, a 4.91 earned run average, 7 innings pitched, 15 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. He had a 2.98 real world, so he's off to a rough start. Oddibe McDowell on the replay is really struggling. He only hit a .193, a homer and 10 driven in. He had 241 real world. He only had 88 at bats. He had 407 at bats real world, so he's got time to turn it around. Kunkel not going to be held. Henneman to McDowell, 4-7, and that's a 1-4 single, but that's a 14, so he lines it to Whitaker, and that will end the inning. But the 2-run homer off the bat of Steve Buechele at least gets Texas a little bit closer. We can close the book on Tanana now. 3 runs all earned. But Henneman would qualify for a save if he can complete the game, finish out the game. So we'll see if he gets that done. Lou Whitaker will lead off the bottom of the 7th, but before I go to the bottom of the 7th, 2 things have to happen. I have to put McDowell into center field on the computer, so we actually have a center fielder on the computer actively. And the second thing that's got to happen is I got to heat my coffee. My coffee has gone completely cold, and I can't do cold coffee. Some people like cold coffee. I don't. I have to have my coffee warm. Borderline hot, but at least warm. So while I go down and take care of that business, we will head to the 7th inning stretch for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And we'll have coffee time coming up soon. All right. Back with warm coffee. Gotta have it. Gotta have the warm coffee. And now we can venture on into the bottom of the 7th. Mahorsic still out there. Hello, Triple G. Good to see you. All right, so we are ready to go with Lou Whitaker. I'm going to get 1 sip of coffee while it's really warm. As Jeffrey would say, that's really good coffee. All right, so we are. Hello, Kenyon. Good to see you. So bottom of the seventh, Detroit leads at 6-3 over Texas. Mahorsick to Whitaker. That's a 212 for Whitaker, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-14, and that's a 13. It's gone. Sweet Lou Whitaker gets the power of the coffee. How about that? A little boost there. And Whitaker hits his 11th home run of the season. 11th home run of the replay for Whitaker. RBI number 34 as well. He had 16 real world, so he's way above his average. In 604 at bats, he had 16 home runs. On the replay, this was at bat number 169, and he hits his 11th already. So Whitaker definitely tearing it up as far as the home run ball goes. Average-wise, he's pretty much right the same, but home runs, he has found the power stroke for sure. All right, that makes it 7-3 now, and here's Darrell Evans. 4-6, and that's a single to right field, so Mahorsick may not be around much longer either. He's getting knocked around quite a bit. That'll bring up Kirk Gibson. Evans, of course, not being held. That's a 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. Now, if you get to the pass ball, you got Slot with a 16, and that is not a good option if you are Texas. If you get to the balk, they're hoping for a balk roll. Balk roll, actually, Mahorsick balks at a 16 as well, so you're kind of screwed either way you go. It's a chance for a pass ball on Slot. It's a 16. And we get another pass ball on poor Don Slot. So Slot with the pass ball. Kind of figured that was coming eventually with the 16 rating. So pass ball will move Evans to second base, and now here's Gibson. That's another 2. We're not doing this again. We're not going to have 2 pass balls in a row. I'm not going to allow that. All right, 5-12, and that is a ballpark blast. But they will allow a 2-run home run, Will Mahorsick, and that's going to be it for Mahorsick. He's done. Stick the fork in him. He is done. Gibson, his second home run of the game. Look at it again, 5-12, ballpark blast. Very hitter-friendly Tiger Stadium, 1-14. Devil Dies a 6. That's a 2-run home run for Kirk Gibson. His 6th home run of the season, 2nd of the game. That'll be all for Mahorsick. And for Gibson, that'll be RBIs 15 and 16. And the Rangers will go to their bullpen. Computer is telling me Mahorsick is tired, but I got something to tell the computer, and that is Bobby Valentine is tired of Mahorsick. So fatigue goes both ways. Managers can get fatigued at looking at the same pitcher, screwing things up. So fatigue does go both ways, as they say. So he's going to end up pitching just 2 innings because he did not get anybody out in the 7th. So he's going to go 2 innings. Well, you know what? I will make the change on the computer, and that way the computer will do it for me. I don't have to do the math. They said there'd be no math. So we will go to, or they will go to, looks like they're going to go to Mike Loynd to try to finish up this mess. He's kind of their mop-up guy. Actually, no, he's going to be starting a game soon, so I can't use him. Check that. I cannot use him. What about Greg Harris? Does he have decent rest? Check Greg Harris. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's at 110% of projected usage, so he's not too bad. So they're going to use Greg Harris to mop up here. Greg Harris. So we'll go to the computer and get the information on Mahorsick on his outing. He went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And now they turn it over to Greg Harris. On the replay, Harris is 0-2 with a save, 3.99 earned run average, 38 innings pitched, 38 hits, 17 walks, and 30 strikeouts. Tigers now well in command, 9-3. 5-4 is a catcher X. We're looking at Slot. He's a 3-10. 3-11. But nobody's on base. There's no pass balls to worry about or anything like that. 3-11 is going to be a foul out as long as there's no error. That's a 6, and he is an E10. There is no 6 there, so it's a foul out to slot for out number 1. Mike Heath steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He doubled his only time up. 1-6 for Heath, and he's going to strike out. That's out number 2. And that'll take us to Pat Sheridan. 1-3, and that's a ground ball to third. That will end the inning. So Harris comes in and takes care of the Tigers 1-2-3, but the damage already done. We go to the 8th. It is now Detroit 9 and Texas 3. But since Henneman came into the game with a close game and with the tying run at least on deck, how about that? How about that, Jeffrey? Apparently got a little coffee spill or something on here on Henneman. I didn't realize his card was even close to anything with coffee, but it'll dry up though. That's not a problem. It'll dry up. All right. So Scott Fletcher, but he can qualify for a save if he finishes the game. There's Fletcher, 2-3, and he's hit by 2-3 is a fly to right. Good thing he didn't hit him because the next hit by pitch is an automatic ejection. So the fly to right takes care of Fletcher. Here's Incaviglia. 5-8, that's a strikeout, and Incaviglia is still doing Incaviglia things. That brings up Parrish, the DH. 2-5, and he will ground to short to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Henneman. No problems there. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Harris just trying to get out of this mess and get his team back in the clubhouse and look forward to the next game. Here's Grubb. 3-4 for Grubb. That's a 1-15 double. So that'll be a double for John Grubb, a designated hitter. He will double. The lead off. Bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up Billy Bean. 3-3 for Bean. He's going to pop it up to short. Fletcher is there. 1 down. For Tom Brookins. 6-6 on Harris is a walk. Yet another walk issued by Texas pitching. And that takes us back to the top of the order for Whitaker. He's had a good day. He's homered, walked twice, scored 3 times. 6-9, and he's going to continue that hot day. 1-17 is a double. 2 stars. It'll score Grubb from second, but Brookins at first will only get to third base on the double. But it is now 10-3 favor of Detroit. And here is Darrell Evans. In fact, they will pinch hit for Darrell Evans. He's had a perfect day. Why ruin it? He's 2 for 2, 3 runs scored, 2 walks, and 2 singles. But they will go to and give an at-bat to Dave Bergman. Much better defender, plus he could use an at-bat too, with the game being out of hand. So Bergman will come on. He was a defensive replacement in real world a lot for Darrell Evans anyway at first base. So he will pinch hit here in the 8th and stay in the game to play first base in the 8th. So this is Dave Bergman. So we go to the replay, go to the computer to get Bergman's numbers on the replay. Again, he's most noted for his defense, not his offense. Although he's not a bad hitter by any means. Bergman hit 273 real world, so he's not a bad hitter. In the replay, he's hitting 250 and 52 at bats, 1 homer, 9 driven in. Second and third, infield is in, just because. 4-9, and that's going to be a walk for Harris, and that's going to load the bases. So a pinch hit walk for Bergman is going to load the bases now for Kirk Gibson. Man, what do you do with Gibson here? He's already hit 2 home runs in the game. Wow. He has already hit 2 home runs in this game. Got a chance now for a grand salami. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Infield back for the double play now. Harris to Gibson. 4-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. That's going to be Kunkel, 3E41. That may not be good for a double play chance, but we'll see. 3-14, the double die helps out a little bit, but I don't think it's a G1. Probably it's a G2. 3-14 is a G2. 3-15 would have been a G1, but G2, the only play is at second base. That's a 10. He's an E41. E41, there's no 10 there, but it will be only a force out, 4-6. They don't turn the double play. So the run's going to score. Scoring is Brookins. RBI ground out for Gibson. So yet another RBI for him. And it is now 11-3. And here's Trammell. 5-8, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So 2 more runs come across for Detroit, and I'm pretty safe putting the X there, I do believe. I don't think there's any chance of a comeback here. So that's going to do it for Harris. He's going to go 2 innings. So let's see here. That was a strikeout. Okay. Go to the computer, first of all, and put Bergman in at first base for Detroit defensively. Then we go to the box score and get the numbers on Greg Harris to finish him off. His 2 innings of work. He's going to go 2 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So the whole thing in there of 2s. Whole laundry list of 2s there. All right, so Henneman, again, like I said, can get the save. I know it seems preposterous, but when he came in, the score was 6-3 with runners on base. So, tying run was on deck. So he is going to qualify for the save, assuming he gets through the inning. Here's Sierra. 6-7, switch hitter batting left is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Trammell, 1E21. With the 1, we know he's going to get to it. The E21, but that's a 16. That could be issues. E21 and a 16. Nope, a 15 and 17 are errors. 15 and 17, but not 16. So Trammell makes the play, and there's 1 away. And after this game is over, we'll look ahead to the next game. It'll be on the West Coast because all the games remaining on this date are on the West Coast in Seattle, Oakland, and California. So here's Pete O'Brien. It's a 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check. But again, it's only a 2 at Tiger Stadium, so it's going to be a line out to second base for out number 2. And Henneman now going for his first save of the season. Slot 3-7 struck him out, and that's going to do it. A 10-3 ball game, 11-3 ball game actually. 11 runs, 12 hits, and no errors for Detroit. 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Texas. Henneman's going to go 2 1/3. And he's not going to allow anything. He retired all 7 he faced. Talk about doing a stellar job there. So we will go to the computer and get the box score and get all the pertinent information to wrap this thing up. And look ahead to tomorrow's game. All right, so Henneman, 2 1/3. Yep, okay, so he got it all there taken care of. Player of the game, Kirk Gibson, 2 home runs in the game, 3 for 5, 6 runs batted in. So obviously he is the player of the game, no question about it. Kirk Gibson. Tigers improved to 22-20. Rangers dropped to 19-22. Let's look at the next game on the schedule for tomorrow morning. We got 3 choices. Probably won't do Baltimore and Oakland. That's probably what I'm going to play offline. So tomorrow, we can either be in California or Seattle. So I think we're going to go to I think for tomorrow morning, we're going to California for the Yankees against the Angels. It'll be Tommy John against Jack Lazorko. That'll be tomorrow's game. Friday's game will be Toronto at Seattle, Jimmy Key against Mike Morgan. And Jimmy Key, of course, is the gold standard in the pitching replay. In this replay, he is the gold standard. He is doing everything that he could possibly do. So tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning, Yankees in California. Friday morning, Toronto at Seattle. Baltimore and Oakland, I'll play offline over the weekend and then come back on Monday on May 26th with the new schedule, new games, and whatnot. Actually, only 4 games are on the schedule for Tuesday, the 26th of May. It's only 4 games on the schedule. Cleveland will be at Boston. Greg Swindell against Al Nipper. Kansas City will be at Chicago. Danny Jackson and Bill Long. Milwaukee will be in Minnesota, and that's Nieves against Blyleven. And then Texas will call up a pitcher I've never heard of, Bob Malloy, to take on Dan Petrie. I don't know if I have a Bob Malloy card. I'll check on my extras. If not, I'll have to print him off the computer. So I've got to look ahead and see if I've got a Bob Malloy card. The gentleman that sent me the printouts of the non-carded players for 1987 may have included Bob Malloy with that. I don't know. But I've got to go pull him and bring him up because I've never heard of Bob Malloy, but he is scheduled to start in that game for Texas against Detroit on the 26th. So we'll see what happens. But tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Yankees in California, Tommy John against Jack Lazorko. That'll be the next game. And for everybody who is a Mr. May Dave Winfield fan, you'll be right in line there to follow that. Do appreciate everybody that spent part of your Wednesday morning with me. I don't know if how many of you were around in the afternoon yesterday to see the History Maker Baseball pre-play of the Yankee Red Sox wild card game. It's kind of interesting because when I've turned on the game itself, the real game, it was 1-0 after 6. And in my replay, I believe it was either 1-1 or nothing. I think it was nothing after 6. Both pitchers had a shutout going. So both starting pitchers lived up to their billing in that replay. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go over here to my minor leagues. And in case you're curious, right next to me, or right on the dresser next to me, are the minor leagues for all the teams. I got them all in separate envelopes. These are the minor leaguers. I keep them separate from the guys on the active roster. So I'll go to Texas and see if I can find this Bob Malloy guy. If he's not there, I'm going to have to print him out. So hopefully he's there. We'll see. We shall see, but I don't like the looks of it. Oh, there he is. He is there. The gentleman did create him for me. So there he is, Bob Malloy. See if we can get a close-up on Mr. Malloy. Bob Malloy. There he is, Bob Malloy. He had 2 starts in the 1987 season. No one-loss record, a .655 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 13 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. But in his 11 innings of pitching, he gave up 6 home runs. So obviously the home run ball is his problem. And you can see his card, the in-home runs, straight up in-home runs are loaded on his card. So Bob Malloy, between the Tiger Stadium being like this and his card being like this, we're going to see a lot of long balls, I got a feeling, in that game. So Bob Malloy will get the start. I got to figure out who gets demoted, because if he comes up to the roster, somebody's got to go. So I'll figure out who from Texas is demoted, or who got hurt or whatever, because if you're going to do the one, you got to do the other, So, in fact, I'm going to kind of go into the computer like I'm going to play this and see what it shows me for active players. I want to see who Texas doesn't have now. Who can I remove? Let's go to their bench and bullpen. That's all the same. Maybe they were playing one short because I'm not seeing anybody leaving. I'm not seeing anybody on here that wasn't on the roster. So it may have been just they were short a player. Now they're using him to get back to being whole again. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just play it as it comes. So yeah, that will be when we get to that game next week. It will be Bob Malloy. But now at least you know who Bob Malloy is. So if you learn nothing else today, you learn who Bob Malloy was. So that's gonna do it from here. That's a good one, Dan. I wish I'd have thought of that myself. I should have actually, but I didn't. So yeah. So tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Eastern, of course, will be the Yankees with Tommy John against the Angels, and a fellow named Jack Lazorko will get the start for the Angels. That'll be from Anaheim Stadium, and that'll be tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Tonight, I think I'm going to go back to the Demolition League. I'm not sure. I mean, I might think about playing a pre-play for that Yankee one, but I don't know if I want to do that again. I think it was just a one-time deal. So I'm most likely going to go back to the Demolition League. This game I've been waiting to play for like a week. Seems like a week anyway. San Diego and Pittsburgh is the scheduled game. It'll be game number 40 on the replay. But we can finish off this particular score sheet because we already did the Kansas City-Chicago game yesterday, game 293, and now game 294 is in the books. So tomorrow, game 295 from Anaheim. It'll be the Yankees and the Angels from Anaheim Stadium. And that'll be tomorrow around 9 o'clock, assuming I don't have any computer glitches. That was interesting when I started this stream. I had I made it like 2 minutes and then the stream conked out. But now I come back and play, and it was perfect. It never had any hiccups at all. So I don't know what this thing is going on with. Technology befuddles me sometimes. I don't know when something works and when something doesn't work, or why something works or why something doesn't work. But anyway, that's just me talking foolishness, I guess. All right, so that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.